In this video, I'll show you how to display chart in Copilot Studio. Now, when you're building an agent within Copilot Studio, most of the time you would be typing a prompt, or maybe if you type some request, and then that request will be processed by the agent and you will get a response in a text format. Now, what if we want to display some sort of a chart or a graph or maybe bar chart or a pie chart or a donut chart? Now, yes, that's possible if you use adaptive cards. Now, I'll show you in this demonstration how to use adaptive cards in Copilot Studio. Okay, to start with, I will navigate to copilotstudio.preview.microsoft.com and I will go ahead and create an agent. Now, I already have a couple of agents created. So let me pick up any agent which I have already created. So if you see here in the agent section, I have got design collection agent, gen org agent. So let me pick up design collection agent. Now here in the design collection agent, I haven't provided any sort of instructions or descriptions. So I'm just gonna go and pick up the topic. Now I've used it for design upload. So maybe I'll just turn off the topic which I have created. Now here to start with, first I'm gonna need some data to show in the graph. So in this example, I will be making use of some dummy data. Now, in your case, it can be any data which you request from a third party system, or maybe you generate those data within your application, or maybe you consume that data from the data source and then format it in such a way that that can be easily read by an adaptive card. So to start with, first we are going to click on add a topic, click on from blank, and then from here I will just uh, call this topic as Olympic. And in the trigger, I'll say trigger this topic when user types Olympic. So this trigger can be anything. I just need a starting point. So I've just made this simple topic Olympic, and this topic will be triggered when the user types in Olympic. Now, what I need is I need a data to be shown. So for that, I will go ahead variable management and I will go ahead and set a variable value. Now here I can select a variable or I can create a new one. Now this is the first time, so I'll create a new one. So I'll call this as var1 for a moment, and I need to put in some data. Now for the data, I need to create some data, right? So let's go into VS Code and let's create some sample data. So this is how you will create this data. So I'll just putting a curly braces, and now I will say items. So what I'll be doing is I will be having some sort of a medal tally. So items colon, and then I will make use of array. So this is my array, and then within this array I will have some content. So maybe a legend. I will call this as maybe country. Say country, and I'll say United States, and let me pick up the value as say maybe the gold medal for Olympics. So maybe US got like say 39 and silver 41, bronze 33. So it has already given me some data. So I'm happy with the data which is provided. So let me pick up something over here, put a tab, and then this is my data. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this data. But before you copy this data, make sure that it is rightly formatted. So let me first format the document. Now this document is nicely formatted. But the other thing which you need to do is you may need to take this data and maybe minify it. So I have got a couple of extensions within VS Code. So if I type in JSON minify, I can download any extension. Now I've downloaded like some random extension. So Alt M is the key if I type in. So if I go over here and if I just type in Alt M, I'll be able to get the minified version of the JSON. So I'll just copy this and go into Copilot Studio and then paste the value over here. So this is my variable, right? So I've set this as a variable and it is now well formed. Now, next, I'm gonna go to variable management and parse this value because I don't know the specific format of this data type. So I'll go and parse this value and I will pick up the var1, and I don't know the specific data type, how to format it. So maybe go to from sample data, get schema from sample, paste that entire content, confirm. It will assume that like, okay, this is in some sort of a record format, and it will give you the value. So get schema from sample data, and we can say, if I just say get schema from sample, confirm it and save as a variable. Maybe I'll create a new variable and this var2, and now as you see, this var2 is a record. Okay, now we can name this whatever we want, but for time being I'll just keep it same. So var1 is a string, var2 is a record. What we have done, we have written a JSON which has the data items of the country Olympics performance, and then we are going to show that in the chart. Now in add a node, you have an option, you have ask with adaptive card. So we're going to make use of adaptive card. But here asking with adaptive card is asking for input. Now we don't want any input, we just want to render the content, right? So for that, we should not use this. Instead of that, let's use send a message, and here we are going to display the performance. So let me say Olympics over here, and I can mark it as bold. And and in add, you see something called as an adaptive card. So I'll click on adaptive card. Now here in adaptive card, I have an option to edit the adaptive card. I have an option to view the formula. So if I see the formula, this is the formula of the adaptive card. Now, if I go into JSON, I can edit the adaptive card. Now, just to show you adaptive cards, so there is a completely different website, adaptivecards.io. You can go ahead and visit the hub. Here you will see all the different kinds of adaptive cards provided by Microsoft in nice design canvas through which you can design your adaptive card. You can also see different adaptive cards, the card layout, and all those things are provided over here. You can also view different elements, actions. Say if you want to see action execute, what it contains, action open URL, what it contains. And now we have something called as charts. So I can display a donut chart. Now in donut chart, I can see in this format, I can see the gauge, I can see the horizontal bar or a vertical bar. So let's use vertical bar and the donut in our code. Now here, this is the code. So I just need to align the code in this format. Now let's first go ahead and pick up the donut chart. Now if I want to see the donut chart, then if I see the code, this is what the code I want. Now if I go into the agent, so let me close this agent for a moment. Yeah. So if I go over here, media, I can click add edit adaptive card, and then it will allow me to select whatever option I want. So I can select action set, badge, column set, media, rich text block, and I can design my adaptive card over here. Now, one option is you can design your adaptive card, or maybe once you know the code, you can just make sure that your adaptive card aligns to that. Now, the first thing what we are going to do, we are going to put a uh, donut chart, right? So in the donut chart, we have this data type chart donut data is, so it takes the data as legend and a value, legend and a value. Now what we want in instead of legend is a country, and the value is like maybe if we are showing gold medal won by specific country, so we need to replace legend value with the gold medal, right? So if you see this code, it is a simple code. It's just that we need to replace this with the data. So let's go ahead and use this code. So all the stock standard syntax is readily available. You just need to type in whatever is required. So let me do a split screen. And yeah, so let me go ahead and pick up. So let me see if I have this. Okay, let me get away from the split screen. Okay, let me open this and close this. So I don't want this. So let's go ahead over here, and we can go ahead in the formula section. So let's go into the formula section. Now here I will maximize this. Now this is the code: type, adaptive card, schema, version, and I have something in the body. So I need to write something in the body over here. Now if you see in the body, we have type chart dot donut, right? So now the syntax over here is we need to be mindful that you cannot put in double quotes the type. We just put type as it is, type colon. And before we even type in the value, it is like kind of an object, right? So I will need to put a curly brace, close the curly brace. And here I will just type in type colon, and then the syntax is chart dot donut. You can copy the syntax. I'm just making you show that this is how you write basically the syntax. Now in then I need a data, right? Now if you go over here, you'll see data is in a form of array, right? So I need an array object, right? Now array object in PowerFX can be achieved by using a for all syntax. So I'll use a for all. And now here I need to iterate through something. Remember in the example we have used var2. So var2 variable 2 is a record set, right? So how to extract the value is like you navigate to topic dot var2, and you get the items. So you get all the items of var2. So var2 is basically from a JSON perspective, it is this. So when I say items, means I'm referring to this. Now within items I will extract country and gold. So let's display only the country and the gold medal. So var2 dot items and comma, and now here I get different options, right? I can see bronze, I can see country. So what I will do is I will pick up, say, legend, because that's a syntax, colon, country, and the value is, maybe I want to show gold. Now this is the syntax. So if you close the curly brace, then you need to check the opening bracket, and I believe that's good. So what we have done, we have just replaced this part. The legend and value should remain as it is. It's just that I need to replace with the actual data, which is like the country and the gold or silver or bronze or whatever you want. And let's see how it goes. So you need not format the structure. I think once you get this output as green, I think everything should be good. And now what we are going to do is we're going to test it. So if I type in Olympic, so let me save this. And as there is no static data, it will not show you the preview. If you had a static data, it will show you the preview, but here it will not show you the preview. Let's try and test it out by typing the prompt. So if I type in Olympic, then it should trigger that specific topic, and as you see, it has given me this donut chart. So it has given me the legend as a country because we have taken country as a legend, and then we have successfully displayed the donut chart. Now remember in the chart.donut, if I just scroll down here, I can see a lot of syntax. So I have say type, color set, data, fallback, and all those different things. So you can tweak your chart in such a way that you can make use of majority of the component which are available. So let's explore this: color set, categorical, sequential, diverging. So in this here, maybe we may need to put the color set. So if I cannot edit it over here. Maybe if I edit in the designer, I will be able to edit it. But let's make use of color set. So after topic, so if I go into the code over here, So if you see type chart.donut, and now if I just type in color set colon, and what was the value? Color set is categorical, sequential, and diverging. So let me put it as diverging, comma. And now your syntax is correct. Click on save. So we'll try out all the three options and see whether it works perfectly or not. Now if I type in Olympic, and now I saw some different graph, right? Because this is, we have set the color set. Now if I change the color set to, so that was diverging. So if I think categorical was the default. Let's see sequential. So if I type in sequential, click on save. And sequential is the by default. So if I go again and let me type in categorical, click on save. And now you might have seen like a different donut chart. So categorical, sequential, diverging. So if you see, I can generate those different type of graph. I can even put a title as well in this donut chart, right? So just to recap what we have done, we have created our own data set. Now this data set can be hard coded data set, or it can come from your Power Automate flow or a Dataverse table or any data source. Parse that data into a record set, because the format which we want to show in the donut chart should be of type record. Once we get the record set, it's a matter of just going into the adaptive card, copying the syntax, and then you can tweak your card in such a way that you can play around with various syntax that are available. You can show the grid area, control the height, alignment, length, and then separator. You can do a whole bunch of things over here. Now, other thing what we can do is like maybe just to play around further, I will just show you another type of chart. So maybe if you have how to use another type of chart. So I'll say send a message, and here I will be adding again an adaptive card. But this time I'm going to use, let's pick up, say something else. So I'll go to formula. Now here I will pick up maybe a vertical bar. Now, how the vertical bar looks, the vertical bar looks something like that. If I go to the JSON, I can see the syntax. So what the syntax says is, first is type. Yes, you need to specify the type. Let's go ahead and copy this. And then you need to specify the x-axis and the y-axis. And then the data. Okay. So simple syntax, how to use it again. I will just type chart.vertical bar. So let's go ahead over here, expand, give some real estate. And then from here, I will say type colon. So I've already copied this. So let me copy this over here. So, so remember, in the type, wherever you see the type, the first item, don't put it in double quotes, because it is not permitted within this formula section. So I'll put a curly brace. Then we have first item. First object is type chart dot vertical bar. Then we need to specify the x-axis, right? So if, as per the syntax, we need to specify x-axis, maybe title. Now x-axis for me is country, so I'll just say country. And I need to specify the y-axis. So y-axis title colon, and I will show gold medal, right? And I can specify the color set. I want diverging or whatever I want. So I will just say color set. Now remember, you need to type the syntax correctly. So color and S is capital. So color set colon, and then you can put diverging, categorical, sequential, etc. So I'll put color set as diverging, and this is the syntax. So let me make it more readable. So this is how the syntax will look like. Now here, I need to specify the data. Now for data, it is again simple. In Power FX, we will use a for loop, so for all, and I will refer to the topic of where to. Where to is the record output. And then from there, I will extract the items component. And then from there, the syntax is very simple. So I just need to specify what will be the X value. So X value is country and the Y value is gold. Close the curly brace, close the opening brace, and your syntax looks good. So if you get green over here, that means this is all correct. So let me show you again. The data X and Y will remain as it is as per the syntax, and this is the green one is the actual data, and that's why you said XY. Plus we need to specify X axis, Y axis, put a color set, put the title. So let's put a title as well this time. So let's put a title, say title, and I will call this as Olympic Gold. And can we put a separator? Let me see if separator pops up. So separator, I don't think so you have a separator syntax, but let's see here. Do we have separator? Yes, I see separator. Let's put it and see separator colon true. So that's a boolean value and syntax looks good. Close this, click on save, and now finally let's test it out. Now when I typed in the prompt, I see that the chart has been created successfully. Now you will see that there's so many data, so that's why it is showing more compressed. So if you have less data, it will show you properly, but it has given you a nice x-axis, which is a country, then the y-axis, which is the gold which you're displaying, and then you hover your mouse and then you will see the country name along with the content. So that's it, folks. This is how you basically use a different type of chat using adaptive card in Microsoft Copilot Studio. Thanks for watching.